Okay, so today I hope the sound quality is good enough right now. I'll try to make it better in the future. Dumbest Guide to Male. Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. And the presentation is gonna be done by me. Oh, male? Oh, okay. Contents. Can I put a U here? Okay. Important highlights and thoughts to internalize. Woman's imagination and how to use it. What is an alpha? You become one, or are you born that way? Play theory, and what is essentially play theory? The reason why most men fail shit tests. Unplugging. That's also the name of the chapter. Unplugging. Game. The pheromone game. Communication. Just get it. You know. What is hypergamy? And for the last one, the iron rules of Tamasi. Yes, this kind of important highlights and thought to internalize. These sentences are taken directly out of the book. These sentences or like phrases or whatever, right? What was on there made me understand the book in a better way, in a different way. And these were better structured thoughts that, helped me to internalize the things that were said in the book. So, there's no greater agency for a woman than to know beyond doubt that she is the only source of a man's need for sex and intimacy. There is no one. There are some good ones and there's some bad ones, but there is no one soulmate. So that's a fallacy. There are some good women, there are some bad women, just as it is with men. There are some bad men, there are some good men. If you are being a good man and you're trying to find a good woman, there will be some good ones and there will also be some bad ones. In a relationship, the person with the most power is the one who needs the other less. I had to reread this sentence quite a lot. In any relationship, the person with the most power is the one who needs the other less. No woman's intimacy is ever worth that compromise because in doing so, you devalue your own worth to her. There is no more superior confidence for a man than one with self understanding that he will not compromise himself for the recognized manipulations of a woman, and the fortitude to walk away knowing that he has in the past and will in the future find a better prospect than her. This is the man who passes the shit test. It's called enlightened self-interest. Real power is the degree to which a person has control over their own circumstances. Real power is the degree to which we actually control the directions of our own lives. This is like a general, thing. It's not really about the book, but it's just a thing that, a sentence that gives a very unique unique description to what a powerful man can do and how a powerful man should think. You know, the mentality he has to have, that you have control over everything that you can do. We are so entrapped in our own limited and self-imposed beliefs that we're scared shitless to get out of our own prison. That's just a commentary that I really enjoyed, and I think these kind of commentaries are should be, addressed quite often. Okay, now we no. Oh man, I am. Okay, these were important. Okay, I am very new to this shit, so excuse me, G. I, I don't really think this video will get any views, but whatever. A woman's imagination and how to use it. A woman's imagination is the single most useful tool on your game arsenal. Stimulate it. This is the direct commentary, like, an actionable step, let's say. Stimulate the fantasy, the imagination of a woman. Women never want full disclosure. There's nothing self-satisfying for a woman than to think that she has figured out a man using her imagination. Familiarity is an okay, before we come to familiarity, these three sentences, right? These three statements right here make women want. Let's say when they say honesty, they want honesty. It doesn't mean that they also want full disclosure with it. It just means not lie in a dumb way, but be more graceful with it and don't give every information out. Don't be fully disclosing everything that you're doing or every aspect of, whatever you're talking about. At some point, you have to be kind of, how you say it, bit more mysterious, but just don't disclose everything. That is what mysterious in and of itself, and also with some charm. Familiarity is anti-seductive. Women do not want to be comfortable with potential or proven sex partner. They need their imagination stoked to be excited, aroused, and anxious to want intimacy with a potential partner. Being cocky, playfully making fun of her, is sometimes enough for her to understand that you are fearless of her response. We will come to this point multiple times throughout this presentation, but it just a man being his true confident self, which is also means him being energetic self, and also like being dominant and being, kind of not giving a fuck kind of mentality. When having that, that's what like really arouses that imagination. With also not fully disclosing everything that you do and keeping somewhat of a mystery, at least as much as you can, right? Familiarity is anti-seductive. That's why, in most of the cases, couples that start, they live for a long time together, their, you know, sex life just goes down because, you know, it's a familiarity. It's like a routine. You see the person, you see everything that the person does. You know where he or she's all the time. So there's no aspect of something new. What is an alpha? You become one or you're born that way. Alpha is a mindset, not a demographic. Looks are important. These are just statements. We will come to them. Play to your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. If you're a jokester, do not waste time trying to get better at our philosophical debates. Your goal is to be able to attract women effortlessly. There is a groupie for every male endeavor, except for World of Warcraft. Yes. Uh, Playing to your strength and minimize your weaknesses. This is a thing that you hear in some self-help videos, but this is like a common sense thing when you come to real life. Okay, I need to play to my strengths and not to my weaknesses. This comes to a lot of things in different areas of life, whether it's sports, academics, whatever. Play to your strengths and not your weaknesses. It's like a peacock kind of um, phenomenon. You just show the best side of yourself. What is an alpha? You become one or are you born that way? Oh, never mind, bro. I forgot the most important thing, and I will add that later, after this one. We will come to this thing, right? No, no, no. Wait a minute. To what is an alpha, right? I will add a diagram which encompasses all the three main aspects. But being an alpha is just basically you knowing that you are the shit, knowing that you are the one who's doing the work, the actual work, not also saying like, I do this, I'm this one. No, no, no. You actually do the work and you don't give a fuck. And you also, in the process of being like that, you will naturally somehow get cockier and get more, aggressive and dominant. You will exclude that energy by just being someone who defends his independence, which is I am an independent man, I can do whatever I want, I will do whatever I want. Knowing what you want to do, going to that, aiming to that um, goal and going towards it. In the process of aggressively doing that, you will get that kind of dominance and that energy that is like an alpha energy. Alpha is like, I find that word really cringe debating an alpha, um, but it just, as I said also in the book, it's just the best way to describe this whole, you know, demographics for right now because there's a demographic, the so-called betas and a demographic of so-called alphas. But it's not a demographic, it's a mindset. Everyone could be an alpha if they just knew, if they just weren't brainwashed by all the bullshit out there and would just take time to think for themselves and be honest with themselves and, live to the masculine essence, if you say so. Play theory. And what is play theory? So this is the main core of the whole book. Like the play theory is one of the most important theories in this whole book. The essence of play theory is that a man is as confident and valuable as his options. This is the essence of abundance mindset. Confidence is derived from options. More women are interested in you, the more self-confident you're gonna be. If a lot of women want you, you are gonna feel better about yourself because you're getting that positive feedback from the outer world. The conditioning of men feeling bad about seeing multiple women serves only the female as chooser dynamic, which is like the feminization of the society that you know, the woman is the main chooser of the partner. The way to circumvent this dynamic is brutal honesty and a commitment to truthful non-exclusivity. Within a plate theory, you are spinning plates, which means you have different women you're seeing, and you're being truthful and honest that you are non-exclusive yourself from your side. You are not willing to, at the given moment, like really settle down and do something serious. That's the that's also core of the play theory. You have to be truthful, but also doing like a very charmful and not an aggressive way, but in a way that a woman will not at the end try to sue you for rape or whatever. Women love to say how they have rules. Well, you must have rules too. This means not checking up with a woman, not sleeping in any routine with her, not calling her more than necessary to set up another date. Never overtly tell a woman you have got other plates than her spinning. Allow her to discover this by your mannerisms, your behaviors, and definitely by your availability to her. Create value through scarcity. Do not be so available to her just enough to keep her interested and allow her mind to consider that maybe you have other options, even when you don't. Never overtly tell a woman you got other plates. Yes, never overtly tell women about I've made those mistakes. A lot of people I know made those mistakes, but never overtly tell a woman about who you're seeing or woman in your life generally. Don't talk about it. She will see that within your mannerisms, as I said in the presentation. Um, Not being so available to her, that's like a game kind of thing. Like reply after a couple of hours, whatever. Don't be so available to her. That's a natural thing that comes to a man when he's actually working on something. If you had moments when you're sitting and you're very invested in whatever you're doing, like reading, studying, creating something, whatever. Even this video, I'm sitting and if I get any messages, which I don't, but still, if I got any messages, I would still answer to them within within a period of time and not immediately because I'm working on something, which will be the same thing for any other people working towards something. They will not be available as much. So yeah, that's like a characteristic for a man who just works a lot. That's a call for becoming the man rather than doing, the steps and being like, okay, I will answer to her after a while. I will not be so much available and not do shit. No, you have to be working at that moment, you know? The continuation. There's no quality woman. That is an idealization. Some are better than others, of course, but you do not find a perfect woman. You create one. You create one for yourself. A truly powerful man jealously guards his most precious resources, his independence and his ability to maneuver. In other words, his options and his ability to exercise them. That's what I said before. A powerful man jealously guards his most precious resources, his independence. He wants to be independent and do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, however he wants. That's a true masculine essence. Regardless, whatever your reasons, women should only ever be a complement to a man's life, but never the focus of it. When you start living for a woman, you become the woman. Make a commitment to yourself. Promise yourself you won't allow yourself to let emotionally and conditioned expectations of monogamy dictate what your goals will be or how you will achieve them. You should be fearless, not careless. When reading all of that, right, I kind of felt like a tinge of coldness. It's kind of difficult to describe the emotion, but you kind of think that you need to become this ruthless asshole or whatever. But it's also mentioned in the book that you should also care about your romantic side, your, more like a wholesome side, and not kill that side. Preserve it for the women who actually deserve it and who actually want that from you. The play theory is just like a, like a sorting system through the society. You spin a couple of plates and you see, okay, which woman actually likes me or like wants to dedicate more time or attention to me. That's like a whole sorting system. And you very that's a very crucial moment to also save your romantic side for the woman who will actually want to, you know, be the center of your attention and will want to be there for you. You know, those are the like better ones who you can make a quality woman out of. I hope this makes sense. Yes. Oh my God. I hope one day I will get better at, this kind of things. Talking better about books, giving information. I hope people will be able to learn something from this video, even if one person gets to learn something from this video, I will be very fucking happy. Okay, continuation. Play theory is a big ass thing, bro. You gotta stick with me through the whole thing. The plate spinning man never implies exclusivity to any plate. Either they accept this or they are not a plate to consider. Done in a frank, honest, yet indirect way, you will not be a player and you will establish yourself as a man whose attention is worth competing for. Bear in mind that monogamy is a dictate of the feminine imperative. Men who find themselves in a state of abandoning monogamy as a goal are really confronting a fundamental shift in their feminine conditioning. At this point, this really comes down to the men. If you really take time and sit down by yourself without any electronics in a room and really think about your love life and what you want it to look like, are you really a man who can live his whole life with one partner, or are you someone different? You gotta be honest with your own self and be ruthless, not think about, I've been told this, I've been told that. No, no, no. It's exactly what you think and what you want. That's a hard question to answer. It takes time. But I hope some people will do this and will do it more often, me included. It serves women best that men think commitment should always be required for intimacy, even in the face of her directly contradicting this. It serves women best that men think commitment should always be. Oh man, I pissed you two times. God dang, whatever. All women are sexual. You just need to be the right guy at the right time for the job. The author recommends to never answer your phone from Friday to Sunday evening, even if you have no other plans. This is just like the whole tactic of making your attention more scarce. So yeah, just don't answer the phone if you're even doing anything, just for the women that are calling you to think that okay, he's doing something. If you consider this. It's just a thing that I had to mention because it's part of the book. It is much easier for a man to deal with a woman if he does not give a fuck. It is easier to deal with a woman knowing that you have three other ones who will be excited to see you even if one plays games with you. So by you having other women on the side and you being, let's say, with a different one, and she's making a fuss and you know going on your nerves, getting on your nerves, whatever, your nonchalant and careless behavior through you having other women will tell her that you are a man, you know, worth competing for. That's the whole play theory. The reason why most men fail shit tests. The reason is pretty simple. Men subconsciously telegraph too much interest in a single woman. Essentially, shit test is used by a woman to determine a combination of factors. Confidence, confidence of the man, options of the man. Is this guy really into me because I am special, or am I his only option? Security. Can this guy provide security? So by you telegraphing too much interest, too much attention in her, makes her wonder, okay, are you a guy who can have any woman, let's say, right? And he chooses me because I'm so special in this regard and this regard, right? Or is he with me because he can't get any other woman, you know? And also security. Okay, can this guy provide security? Which is, it doesn't only mean, in this sense, it doesn't only mean financial security. It means emotional security too. Like, is this guy someone who's also gonna like flip out when something bad happens, or is this guy someone who's gonna stay calm and reserved when shit goes down? Um, and also, yeah. So that's very important. If you understand those things, that if you bear in mind that these three options are going through her head, consciously or subconsciously, these are the things that you have to be aware of. That your confidence is going to be tested. The Your ability to get women in a way, or to get options, will also be tested, and your ability to provide security, in this sense more of an emotional security. Are you, or like general security, like, are you a complete human being who's able to protect and provide and secure her, because she's a woman, she's thinking for her. Unplugging. This is the part where most men start hating women, but don't hate women. They're great human beings. The least attractive thing for a woman is a man willing to compromise any part of his identity to placate her. Women are naturally attracted to that masculine independence, as it represents a very strong cue for security and the potential to provide that security to her. Women want to be told no and constantly test a man's resolve to say this to her, aka shit testing, and put his sexual impulse on hold to stick to his own self-interest, beliefs, and ambitions, which is like, okay, you as a woman don't sexually control me in this paradigm. This covertly communicates to women that his goals and determination trump her one real power over him, her sexuality. That is the man who is the prize. If you can hold your stick, right, like hold your willy and not like compromise to her because she's not given the intimacy, and you're still doing, what you're doing, eventually she'll understand that you don't really possess, as a woman, you don't really possess much power over that man. That's what basically the book says. Either as enigmatic poets and artists for women to figure out, or as natural stoics whose very measured expression of emotion is an event unto itself, it has been men's classic reservation of emotional inaccessibility that has made women more interested in men. In modern society, men are encouraged to express themselves as a primary way of accessing women's intimacy, essentially killing any sense of mystery to unravel with full disclosure. In a feminist society, you will always be demonized for following your masculine imperative. This is a very okay. These are the things that I made them so bite-sized, these statements, so that you can actually pause and read through those statements and think about them, internalize. All of these paragraphs are made to really think about and internalize, when you're sitting by yourself, and really think about what's said in this video. If you're seeing this, I don't know about YouTube algorithm, bruv. You, by overtly telling women about everything that you do, giving all the information out, just kills the whole mystery, just makes it so much, less interesting for a woman to actually talk to actually, you know, ask some questions, think about you. What are you really doing? Uh, a very, very basic example from my own life, right? I was going home with a girl, like, I was bringing her home after a party, not to sleep with or anything. It was like three in the morning, and I would just bring her home for her to come home safely. But still, even though I didn't have any interest in her, right, I still thought about these things that I'm talking to you about right now. And I didn't overtly tell her things, about myself. When she was asking me like, what do you do for a job? I wouldn't tell like, oh, I do this on the side, I do this on the side, I do this. No, no, no. I do everything that brings me money legally. That's it. And she would look at me, she would ask more questions, and I would covertly, like, I wouldn't overtly give all the details. I would just try to, dodge the question, go the other way, or answer the question, but in a, slightly vague manner, if you say. In a feminist society, you will always be demonized for following your masculine imperative. That's just wait a minute. That's just a thing to consider. Game. What is game? Marriage is a constant work is bullshit meant to keep the man busy trying to get the woman's approval for intimacy for her to maintain the frame in LTR. LTR in this scenario means long-term relationship. Women want to be with men who other women want to fuck and other men want to be. We are gonna go through a whole presentation, right? I hope, right? This whole book blatantly is telling you to become a better man. That's what I'm trying to do every day. If not every day is successful, eh, it's not about all days being unsuccessful. Some days are going to be successful, and it's about putting in the work. The whole book just tells you become a better man, work on yourself. That's the best investment you can do. Woman, being the calculated gender, knows all too well to hit the gym months prior to breakup. She's not hitting the gym to look better for you, but rather to look sexy again when she's ready to fuck around with better looking guys. Nothing is as simultaneously fear-inspiring and arousing for women as a man she suspects is self-aware of his own value. So for me, it was kind of difficult to understand this point, so I'm just gonna put it out there, and I would really be happy if some people actually write in the comments about what they think about, you know, nothing is as simultaneously fear-inspiring and arousing for women as a man she suspects is self-aware of his own value, what that means for them. I thought it's just her kind of detecting that he knows that she can be replaced at any time, and the whole dynamic is just on his terms. Women's SMV, which means sexual market value, burns hot and short, but men's burn slow and long. I will also add another diagram which I forgot. I will not try, I will become better at this job, at this thing, being more professional. So I will still add the diagram and will show you what the real SMV sexual market value diagrams of both genders look like. The conflict is that men are just beginning to realize their potential, while women must struggle with the decline of their own. Before I even show you the diagram, which I will add later, women's SMV peak at 23, whereas men's peak at 38. There's a 15-year gap between the most valuable woman, statistically, um, and the most attractive men. There's a 15-year gap, bruv. 15-year gap. Men peak at 38 because it theoretically is the time when he's the most, he's not too young or too old. He's not, he has his shit together. He's got his life together. He has money. If he had worked out through his, 20s and stuff, he must have a decent physique, you know, like these kind of things, they just add up. Beta men fail to understand that opposites attract, and bearing the notable exceptions, most women do not want to marry other women, least of all carbon copy of themselves. The most attractive man is gonna be the man who acknowledges the difference between genders and accepts and behaves likewise. picture of SMV diagram that I forgot, but I will add it and make a cut and add the fucking diagram. Okay, the pheromones. Healthy testosterone levels literally cause men to perceive women as sexual objects, stimulating the same portions of our brain used for cognitive problem solving and manipulating tools. There are several pheromonal studies that indicate that men with differing scents from those of women tend to attract opposite scents in women. From an evolutionary perspective, this is nature's tool to prevent inbreeding so that people from the similar genotype do not get attracted to each other because of their scents, thus provide biodiversity. So basically, you don't want to have kids with your sister or with your mom. This is like an evolutionary, aspect that have come to people. Um, People with differing scents will literally get more aroused one another with just the pheromones, just the scent of another human being. So nature is literally made for biodiversity. um, Healthy testosterone levels will stimulate you perceiving women as more like an object, which women want to be perceived as objects. However, which that's very important from not every man, but only from the man she wants to be perceived as an object. Only that she wants. And your job is to become the man, to be the one, right? According to this book. Literally all these paragraphs are taken out of the book and I'm just reading these to you for you to think about them more and internalize. This is like a speed run guide, right? Pheromones. From biomechanical perspective, the indication is that men who masturbate consistently are essentially broadcasting their status of pheromonal beta, and a woman's biomechanical mechanics register this about them. Higher testosterone males manifest their sexual viability in both sexual assertiveness and scent. You literally stink differently. Myth that women do not want to overtly sexualize men, but the biological truth is far from that. The author calls to the viewer to stop masturbating and start using that sexual energy to essentially achieve more and be more motivated to approach and fuck women. Essentially, reserve that. It's just like a no fap kind of um, chapter, as if you would say, just don't masturbate, reserve that energy, and that energy will also actualize itself in your scent and make you more arousing for women. That's a biomechanical thing. We wouldn't understand. The pheromones. When a woman's attention strays into comfort, routine, familiarity, she begins seeking drama from other sources. Sometimes all that is necessary to provoke that imagination is to get to the gym, dress better, get a raise, travel for work, change your routine, adopt game mentality, hang out with a new or an old friend, be cocky and funny with her, risk to offend her sensibilities. Okay, um, I apologize for that because this is not a pheromone kind of thing. This should have been more on the woman's imagination chapter. However, this goes back to the point that woman's imagination, she constantly needs some sort of drama. This makes her this like a that's like a drug to women, right? The drama, the gossip, whatever. But the whole drama feelings that drama gives them when the woman's mind goes to comfort and she knows everything that is happening, the family, the routine, she will seek drama. So for you to keep her in that heightened, sense of drama, or like the heightened sense of her imagination working all the time, thinking about you, like what is wrong with you, what is happening with you. These are some examples. Dress better or change your style, get a raise, do something different at your work, travel for work, change your routine, hang out with a new and old friend, which is new, be cocky. This, I, I would say, this statement right here calls out the reader, the viewer, to always try to do something with your life and not fall into routines yourself. Because if you don't fall into routines, your woman will also less likely fall into routines because you're changing all the time. Communication. More often than not, women tell the complete truth with their actions. They just communicate it in a fashion that men can't or won't understand. When communicating, men prioritize content, women prioritize context. Feminine communication seems insane. It is a highly dysfunctional form of communication, more like childish, throwing temper tantrums, saying one thing and doing something different. They react emotionally to everything. This is what's said in the book. I'm just restating, and I agree with that. Covert communication frustrates men as much as overt communication frustrates women. We filter for information to work from, not the subtle details that make communication enjoyable for women. Women instinctively know that their sexuality is their first, best agency, and covert communication is the best method to utilize it. Women fight in the psychological, whereas men fight in the physical. Okay, just get it. Be the guy who just gets it. This also goes back to the communication, so they are intertwined with another. Women despise a man who needs to be told to be dominant, told to be confident, told to be anything they have on their list of prerequisites for their intimacy. Overtly relating this to a guy entirely defeats his credibility as a genuinely dominant male. The guy she wants to fuck is a dominant man because the way he is, instead of who she had to tell him. If masculinity had to be explained to a man, he's not the man for it. I will repeat because this shit's busted. If masculinity had to be explained to a man, he's not the man for it. You are supposed to be this way. If you weren't this way naturally, at least you know this right now, and you can become dominantly just for yourself and not because some woman told you to be this way, this way. No, be you, but be dominant you, if you get me. If she just would tell me what I have to make her love me, I would do it, not really realizing that their very verbalization of that and a belief in open rational conversation is the thing that killing a woman's desire for him. This was taken out of context where he's explaining whole story of his a friend of his, you know, his relationship with his woman is not going so good, and their sex life is declining, and he just doesn't know what to do. And him actually telling this that if she just told him what to do, he would do, which basically defeats his whole essence of being a man who gets her, who knows within himself what he has to do to make her respect and love her. If she has to tell him, she will in the future most probably despise him because he's not like this. He's being like this because I had to tell him to be like this. And this is not a good place to be. So you just have to be like this. Just get it, bro. She wants a man who knows he needs to be dominant with her. That is confirmation of hypergamy. Remember, women never want the full disclosure. They want the context, the way you say it, rather than what you say. Women, okay, first we come to hypergamy. It's said in the first statement. This is basically a woman's natural mechanism of her trying to find the best possible mate, the best possible male. Women are naturally solipsistic. Your feelings do not matter to her if you do not make them important for her. We will come to the solipsistic nature in the upcoming slides. The main goal is learning to communicate indirectly, which means covertly, which means in women's language. Men speak overtly, women speak covertly. Your job as a man is to learn the covert way of communication. Women would rather be objectified rather than idealized. That's what's said in the book. Women either lack the awareness of or the self-honesty to acknowledge what is about men that they like, or deliberately I hate this word, bruv. Or deliberately misdirect and evade men's efforts to make deductive sense of their motivations. In truth, they want a guy who just gets it on his own without having to be told. So I think that's a very smart mechanism that, has been hardwired in women's brains. It's kind of interesting because, that's also a sorting system for her to use on men. Okay, what's his direct motivations? Is he like this or is he pretending? Who am I gonna be alone with, one to one with in the future? I don't want to get up tangled up with a psychopath. As a woman, you think like, okay, I don't want to be killed, of course. So that's like a sorting system. That makes sense. Okay, what is hypergamy? It is fucked up that a man's life intrinsically means less than a woman's life. Men have always died in the trenches, in wars, so yeah, men have always been martyred, and women would then find a substitute within a week or two. Men would simply die against a superior aggressor, which can be everything, and women would be reserved for breeding. So it served a feminine imperative to evolve an ability to cut ties with formal partner more readily and focus on self-important psychology. Solipsism. It's People take it more for egoism. I don't really know the intricates of the whole thing, but it is more like I have to think for myself. I am in this life alone. I have to be taken care of. I have to be, protected, whatever. So it's like a mechanism that allows her to make new emotional ties with a new partner. Also, solipsism is the reason why women um, can get off PTSD far better than men. Men struggle to get out of that PTSD state, right? But women can actually bear with that state way better than, men, because women are so much more readily available to just cut the ties and like, okay, new life. Doop de doop de doop. I'm sorry for that. God damn. What men take for indifference in a breakup and ruthless shit test is really a woman tapping into this innate self-preserving solipsism. Just imagine you, a caveman, you're a cave woman, right? You've been like eating there, having some good time. A superior aggressor in this scenario, it could be just a bigger man, right? Who could come, kill you, bam! You're dead. So your woman basically has two options. She will either cry and like say, what you do to my man? Why you do this? Why you kill him? And the man will kill her, or be like, okay, he's dead. Wherever, I will go with him. He's bigger and stronger. It's like a very, it's like a bro science, right? But it's the, it's the best explanation I could find for myself. It's like, okay, it's just a self-preserving mechanism. She has to stay alive, so that's the best thing she can do. The superior aggressor, I mean, I'll go with him, right? Hypergamy doesn't care. Hypergamy doesn't care about the words you said at the wedding. It doesn't care about all the, how much her family and friends love you. It doesn't care about the children or if the children are even yours. It doesn't care about how sweet, fun, and smart you are. It doesn't care. You just have to be the best man. Hypergamy is a woman's natural preference for a higher status man, higher status than her, or the man who she knows or has known in the past. The highest passable status male would be good looking, rich, dominant, leader of his group, good job, extrovert, etc. So many things that you can add here. If you have to choose between being a dominant and a broke societal loser, rather than socially awkward and a rich societal winner, but best be the both. So, oh my God, I just can't. Okay, if you have to choose between being a societal loser by who's just dominant and broke, instead of being socially awkward but very rich, be the broke dominant guy because they will always win. The dominance is like the primal thing that attracts the woman. Do not wish things were easier, wish you were better. I will read this again. Do not wish things were easier, wish you were better. I may as well use this catchphrase in my at the end of my videos, like do not wish things were easier, wish you were better. That's hard. That's hard. The Iron Rules of Tamasi, the last one. The video has been going for 45 fucking minutes. What the fuck? The Iron Rules of Tamasi. Always control the frame, but do not give the impression that you are. Do not overtly communicate that you are having you got the, you got the frame. No, bro. No, just make it covertly. God damn. The reason women shit test is to verify the legitimacy of a man's frame. If you are being made to wait for sex, you are operating under her frame. Okay, I'm just gonna read these rules and you can, extrapolate whatever you want for yourself. This is completely made as like a fast guide, as fast as possible to understand the book. But it will be better for you to read the whole book, bruv. Read something. Do something with your life, bruv. Never under the pain of death, honestly or dishonestly, reveal the number of sexual partners or the experiences with them to your current partner. I made this mistake. Friends I've known made this mistake. Don't do it. 3. Any woman who makes you wait for sex by her actions implies she's making you wait for sex. The sex is never worth the wait. If a woman really wants to be intimate with you, she will find a way. She will. Never under any circumstance leave with a woman you are not married to or planning to marry in 6 months. That is rule. 5. Never allow a woman to be in control of the birth. Wear a condom. Condoms have been around since before World War II, but even in the baby boom era, there were far less unwanted pregnancies and single motherhood households. It was the inventions of the pill that put the power into women's hands to control the birth, rather than before when it was the man's responsibility to put on the rubber. Women are fundamentally incapable of loving a man in the way that a man expects to be loved by a woman. This was a hard to swallow pill for me. Men are romantics forced to be realists, whereas women are realists pretending to be romantics. You cannot explain that to her. At this point, your idealization will become her obligation. You cannot tell a woman, "Oh, baby, this is the way I want you to love me," or do this kind of things, this. This will make you hate her, hate you, resent you, uh, within a small time frame, or in the long run, it will not work the best for you. She knows her love language and you know your love language, but you cannot teach her the things, or like it will become an obligation for her. It is much healthier to accept that it is not possible and live within that framework. If she's there, she is there. If she's not, oh well, it is what it is. She does not lack the capacity for loving relationship and nurturing love. She lacks the capacity for the connection you think would ideally suit you or me, because I was the one thinking like this too. I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of narcissistic in here. The biggest thing to realize is that both men and women understand love differently. Men believe love matters for the sake of it, whereas women love opportunistically. God damn. It will always be better to make new relationships rather than reconstruct a failed one. Always let a woman figure out why she won't fuck you. Never do it for her. So basically just don't give any bad reasons about yourself for her to automatically like, okay, fuck this guy. Never seriously self-deprecate with a woman you intend to be intimate with. Women despise the obligation of sympathy. It never serves your best interest to paint yourself pathetic, even if you are. So just be cocky. Thoughts. Become a better man, bruv. That's the whole idea of the book. Just become a better man. That's it. Work on yourself. Do not focus on the woman. Focus on the aim or the goal that you are striving for. I don't even got my own goal. I'm just working because it's all I gotta do. This is the only thing I gotta do, bro. Like, ain't nothing more to do. Ain't nothing more to do than just go gym, make videos, try to become better at making videos. I don't know, read fucking books and shit, whatever. I want to get into these, the daily levels. But apart from that, it's generally becoming a more self-aware, good-looking, thoughtful man. You know, it's generally a better thing for the whole humanity, for you and for the whole humanity, for the whole community, bruv, and for women too. So work on yourself, and I guess be proud of yourself after working on yourself. Kind of sounds dumb, but I guess it is what it is. And for the last, never wish the things were easier. Wish that you were better.